10:33.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start.
Surekha ma'am, recording started, no?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. This is a webinar on technical writing. This webinar is organized by PVP Polytechnic IS student chapter for all our final year students. You know, all final year students, they have some or other project work, yeah, as per their subject. Food technology students, they do project in the food technology. ID department students will be doing project of interior designing. So like this, so the objective of this program is that the student who are doing their project work, they don't know how to write it technically, how to put up their work properly scientifically. So that's why we have organized this session specially for you people, so that you will come to know this program will give you insight or glimpse how to write down your work, your thesis, your paper, whether it is national, international, in a technical manner. So I hope that you will take a tips. If you have any doubt, at the end we will be having question answer session. You can ask your questions over there. Those who cannot join the meeting, they can just have a view of the program on our college Facebook Live. Now I would like to invite our student, final year student, Miss Pritam. Pritam, kindly introduce our today's guest speaker.
Yes, ma'am. So, good morning and a very warm welcome to all our participants and faculty members who have joined us today for this webinar session. Myself, Preetham Kasle, student of DFT Diploma in Food Tech Sem 6, Tata Department of Food Tech, SNDT Women's University, Center for Vocational and Technical Education. Today, PVP ISTE Students Chapter has organized this session on technical writing for all the final year students of all departments of our college. This session will be helpful to the students in writing their project reports, thesis, and research papers. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Professor Purva Raut ma'am, Associate Head, Department of Information Technology at DJ Sangvi College of Engineering, Mumbai, to deliver today's session. A brief intro about Purva ma'am. She has a 14 years of experience in academics as an associate head and assistant professor at DJ Sangvi College of Engineering, University of Mumbai. She has completed her Masters of Technology degree in Computer Engineering with distinction and has proven skills in developing and revising curriculum, defining courses outline, and administering student assessments, and has strong analytical, logical, and programming skills in Python, Java, and C programming. She is an expertise in design, preparation, and presentation of teaching materials for theory, conducting theory, and laboratory sessions for undergraduate and graduate level students in software engineering, project management, programming language, practical, and group sessions. Few of her most notable works include successfully established industry academic collaborations with various IT companies and research institutes, including Woodward Pharmaceuticals from USA, TCS, Serial Labs Private Limited, CDAC Research and Development Center. Ma'am has authored 12 books on artificial intelligence and soft computing for engineering courses in computer science and information technology programs at university level. She has also developed and managed website for the international conference ICA CTA 2015 as web chair. Ma'am has guided more than 35 research projects and presented 30 plus research papers at multiple international and national conferences and journals in the field of artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, and machine learning. I'm sure that we all will learn a lot through this webinar as ma'am is one of the best and esteemed trainer. It is a pleasure to have you, ma'am, to deliver today's webinar. So I welcome you, ma'am, and request you to take over this session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such an elaborate introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you
Yes,
are on.
ma'am.
Okay, good. So yeah, so can we go on the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you. So as you all know, today's agenda is, how to write a research or a technical paper, and how to structure it, what are the components, how the selection will happen, how do we select the journals, and how the journals will select our paper. Okay, so both the things are equally important. So let us, go through all these points, and let us benefit ourselves, right? Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so as we start with, um, uh, Surekha ma'am, I think it's the previous slide. Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing, as we start with, okay, it is selection of the research topic. All right. So before thinking of writing of any technical paper or research paper, first of all, we need to find out that what is the topic that I'd be researching about. Okay. So for that, we have different domains of research, right? So you come from any background, either it is IT, comms, electronics, or food technology, or fashion and design. So any field you take, there are different domains of research in which people are working since years, and they have developed many things. They have published many papers in those areas, right? So what is our job as a student, first of all, is to identify or to at least know what are different domains of research in my particular area. Okay, then out of those domains, which domain is of my interest. All right, so you might be learning so many subjects, so many courses throughout the program of 3 years or 4 years, whatever you have. But then out of that, we always have, these are my favorite topics, these are my favorite subjects. So similarly, on in these domains also, you have to find out first of all which domain is of your interest, right? Then uh, as you identify the domain and the specific area out of the domain, then we need to now narrow down the topic of research. Okay, so for that we need to read many research paper, read multiple papers, and we have yellow papers also. So basically we need to study what is happening currently in that area. All right, and then as we know that, then I can identify a particular topic, okay, in which few things are already happened, and as my research work concludes, there are few more things that can be done in that particular area, or if you have a new idea altogether, all right, so that can be implemented, okay, and it will be beneficial for society, for the research domain as altogether. All right, so such topics we tend to select, right? And then again, as we define the scope of our topic, we have to again go through the research papers. Now these will be more focused ones, right? So as I get a title of my paper, as I get a title of my research work, I'll be searching with that title itself. Okay, so say for example, if I'm interested in web mining, IT comms people will understand what I'm saying mostly. So web mining is again a subdomain, but it is again a big broad area of research. So out of web mining, what I want to study. Okay, so am I going to work on the indexes? Am I going to work on the page ranking? Okay, so these are a small subtopics, and then in each subtopic I'll be having list of reference papers or research papers which are already published, okay, by other researchers. So we need to first understand what work has been done till now, and then we can move ahead with our particular topic or a particular work. Okay, so that is how the selection of research topic has to happen. So that itself is a process. All right, we cannot randomly take up anything and just start working like that. Yeah, next slide, ma'am. Okay, so yeah, so as we go ahead, first of all, what matters the most when we write the technical paper is the style and the language. Okay, so in technical paper, as the name itself says technical, the language has to be a formal language. It has to be a technical language. It cannot be a simple day-to-day English that we speak. We cannot write in the same way. Okay, at the same time, it has to be simple as well. Okay, so unnecessary using jargons or idioms just to make it very jazzy is also not advised. Okay, it is not accepted actually. All right, so when I'm putting up my paper, my research work to any journal, the very first thing that they the first level of selection, I would say, is the language. Okay, so if your language is very technical, very formal and simple, then there are high chances that they'll read through your work and then the selection process, right? So the selection process is another big process that your paper will go through. But the very first thing is they should first of all read what you've written, isn't it? So for that, we have to maintain the technicality of the stuff. All right. And the citation point I mentioned here, I'll be coming back to this in detail. Okay, so basically we need to cite the borrowed work. So what I mean by borrowed work, see, everything I cannot invent right from today. Okay, so people have already worked in that particular field. They have invested so many years, and as a student I am working for maximum 1 year on that particular project, isn't it? So I am definitely going to use what they have already developed for me, right? What they have already published, what they have already developed in that particular area. So for that matter, I'll have to give a due respect to that person who has already worked, all right? And that is how that is why we need to cite the work. Okay, we will come to the format of citation, how it is to be done. Okay, all that we can definitely, we will be discussing it down the line. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so now let us understand what is the structure of the paper. Okay, so there are two types of papers, two types of research papers, which are the main types as we can, think of. So there are review papers and there are implementation based papers. Okay, so when we talk about the review paper, again, the name itself suggests it is a review, right? So we are just going to study others' work and we are going to conclude or compare work done by different people, different researchers. Okay, so that is what is the review paper. So basically main focus here is on the existing work, right? The reviewers, I mean the paper reviewers or the journals, they expect that the author must have presented the comparison in forms of tables or charts. Okay, and then again we need to conclude containing the comparison of all the techniques or the techniques which are used already by the researchers. And on top of that, it is expected that the user will have some recommendations or some comments on what has happened. Okay, what work has been done. All right, so as a reviewer, you have to first of all study what they have done. You will be comparing what people have done. Okay, and then you will be putting up your remarks or your comments, or also you can suggest some improvements, okay, in the current techniques or methodologies. All right, so that is all about the review paper. Okay, so there are journals who accept only review papers. There are journals who accept both review and implementation papers. Okay, so that again we are going to discuss about. The other type, which is the majorly targeted by students, because you do implement your projects, right? So you do some practical work, right? It is not only the research work but also the practical work or the practical implementation that you do about your project. And that is the reason most of the time your faculties also will advise you or at times force you to write the implementation based paper. All right, so what is that basically? So that paper will be more focused on your work. Okay, what is your proposed system? What are your methods of implementation? What techniques have you used? Okay, what are the system architecture that you are proposing or you have implemented? Okay, so more focus will be on all these points. So you will be actually describing module by module what implementation you have done. Okay, and then what solution have you identified, why that solution is appropriate. Okay, and not only as discussion, but that will be proved with the experimental results in your paper. Getting it? Okay, and again at the end you will be doing comparison with the existing work. Okay, so how your work or how your proposed system is better than the previous one, so that comparison has to happen in the implementation paper. Okay, so what I've jotted down on the screen are all the important factors or the components of the review paper and implementation. So these are must. Okay. On top of that, we do also have various components. Next slide, please. So these are all the common components of any research paper. Okay. So these are all the common points or sections that any research paper will have. Okay. On top of that, as I said, the differentiation between the review paper and the implementation paper. All right. So let us go through all the components one by one. Okay. So very first section is the title section. Okay. Why I have, I'm sorry. Why I have incorporated this title section here is, people may think that when a title is it a section, but yes, it is a section and it is a very important section because this title is going to give the most important keywords from your paper. All right, it is going to give you my keywords from the paper, on basis of which the categorization of the paper will happen as it goes for selection process. Okay, so title is the most important thing of your paper. Okay, it should be clearly describing the contents. Okay, and when I say that, it should say what you are doing and how you are doing it. Okay, so say for example, the paper for say ranking system using genetic algorithms. Okay, for example. All right, so it should quickly say in short and very precise keywords was what exactly is your work and how you will be doing it. Okay, next is authors. So author name will should always be with their recognitions or with their affiliations. Okay, so that is how the recognition of the writer will happen. Okay, the reader should know who is the writer. Okay, so just by reading my name, nobody will understand who I am. So I should be specifying which institute I belong to, what is my post. Okay, so those affiliations should be mentioned. So for students, definitely you'll be mentioning student uh, and you're followed by the college name or the university name. All right. Then next we have the most important part of your paper and the shortest one as far as the contents are concerned is the abstract. Okay, so abstract is basically it is a short description, okay, about what you are doing, why you are doing this work, and how you are going to go about it. Okay, so that is all about abstract. Then we have keywords. Okay, so keyword section, as I said, this is going to uh, you know uh, the keywords will be basically used to correctly identify in abstracting and indexing services. So what are these abstracting and indexing services? So these are parts of the selection process once again. Okay, so they will categorize your paper basis on your keywords, and then that particular section I'll be having multiple papers to review. Okay, so your paper will be compared with other papers. Okay, so if your keywords are proper, definitely your paper will go in a proper cluster or a proper class of the papers, and then the selection process will be properly carried out. Okay, if it goes in a wrong category, then definitely there are high chances that your paper will be rejected. Okay, so keywords are also very important. You have to give proper keywords pertaining to the topic that you are researching on or writing the paper on. Then comes introduction. So introduction is to explain the problem in detail. Okay, then comes methods, methodologies. Okay, or proposed methodology, what we can call it as. So basically it is going to discuss the implementation details of your paper. Okay, or what methods are you have you have used. Okay, before that we have the existing work which has been done. Okay, so we have literature review which is to be included in your paper. So in that we are going to study and talk about what are the existing techniques or methods that other researchers have used and implemented. Okay, then followed by that your proposed methodology will come, your proposed architecture will come in the paper. Then experimental results, that is going to depict the result of your work, results of your work, right? So to get your work recognized by anybody, we need to have the result sets, right? So just by proposing anything, nobody can understand or can judge your work. So results are the important metrics, I would say, through which your work can be recognized, right? And finally, we have acknowledgements. That is to just say thanks for to those who have helped you in your research work, those who have guided you. All right. Followed by that, we have references. So this is what we were talking about. So citation, references. Okay. So these references are very important. Okay. They are going to ensure the previously done work. Okay. And as important, I'm sorry, as what I'll say, vital your references are, okay, your work will have more recognition. Okay, so what I want to say here is, say if I refer to any IEEE papers or in Scopus Index papers or Elsevier, okay, journal papers, so these are all well-known, renowned journals. Okay, and if I refer papers from these journals, definitely that talks more about the quality of my work. Okay, because I'm going to, I must have read their work, I've understood their work, and then I've developed something on top of that. So definitely my work will be at least on par with the level of the existing or the referred journals, right? So that is the reason the references and what do you refer is very, very important, because your work quality is majorly depend on what you read or what you have referred. Okay, so that's all about it. So all these are the sections that we have in the research paper. Next slide, please. So let us go in detail to each and every section, and let us understand once again what it is. Okay, so title, as I said, it describes the paper contents clearly and precisely, including keywords. Okay, so contents, as I said, what I'm doing and how I'm doing in 2 or 3 keywords. So maximum length of the title should be 6 to 7 keywords, not more than that. Okay, as we all know, title is always the advertisement, isn't it? So it's advertisement of your article, so you can make it more and more attractive. Okay, but at the same time, don't lose the technicality of it. Okay, don't use any jargons in it as such. Okay, so idioms or any jazzy English is not expected there. It has to be simple and to the point. Okay, we are not going to use any abbreviations, as I mentioned in the title. Okay, and yeah, so what is the use of the title? So it will be used by the search engines and indexing databases, okay, to categorize your paper, to when someone else is searching for similar topics, then what are the chances that your paper will come first in the search result, okay, or in first 10 links. So that totally depends on what keywords have you put in the title. Okay, so it has to be very clear and very precise. Next slide, please. Next we have abstract. Okay, so as I said, abstract is very, very important. It is all mostly it is 150 words is what the limitation given for the abstract, and it is a brief summary of your paper. Okay, so what we are going to mention there is what is the problem, why it is a problem. Okay, that is limitations of the existing approaches in 1 or 2 lines. Okay, not more than that, and how you're going to solve this problem. All right, so again, it has to be in 1 or 2 lines. So as I have the number of words limitation here, I cannot be explaining things in abstract, but I have to be very, very to the point in abstract, and I will be explaining it very briefly and shortly. Okay, this is very important line. Together, title and abstract should stand on their own. Okay, so what I want to say or mean by this particular line is, I don't want the selection team to read my complete paper. Okay, I don't want, in the sense, I don't want to force them to read the paper. Just by reading the title and abstract, they should get a complete idea of my work. Okay, and definitely it should interest them to go through the complete paper. Getting it? But if my abstract is very heavy and it is very general, not specifying anything about the technical stuff or methodologies or no algorithms, nothing has been mentioned in abstract, then most of the time what happens is they'll lose their interest in your paper. They will not go through, not see what you have done. Okay, so abstract and title are the main advertisement of your paper. Okay, make it very, very interesting. Okay, at the same time, keep it to the point, keep it technical. All right, next slide, please. Okay, then next comes introduction. All right. So now there, here I have little more liberty. There is no limit on the number of words here. Okay, in introduction. So basically, I'm going to little bit elaborate the problem that being investigated, the background work that has already happened for this problem. Okay, and what are the limitations of the existing work, so that there is a need for conducting the further research. Okay, and hence I'm doing this particular research. Got it? So these all are the important points in your introduction, right? So as mentioned on the slide here, it should be summarizing the relevant research, okay, to provide the context. So first of all, the reader should understand where I'm coming from, right? So what is the background of this research, right? So all those things should be first mentioned clearly. I request all the listeners to please go on mute. Thank you. Okay, then uh, state how your work differs from the published work. So you're going to next talk about what extra or what is that which is not yet been developed in this area, and you are taking up for the development. Okay, so that is how you stand out. All right, or your distinct collaboration that you are going to mention there. Okay, then explain what are the findings of others. Okay, and what are the challenges that are still there in that particular area. Okay, will you be taking up a new challenge, or will you be extending the previous work? Okay, this has to be clearly mentioned in the introduction itself, right? So in short, it is a brief description of the experiment, hypothesis, research questions, and general experimental design of your total work. Okay, so in introduction, even if I mention it as experimental design, we are not going to draw any diagrams. Okay, we are not going to put any architectures in introduction. Okay, not the existing one, not your new one, but in a theoretical manner, in an explanatory descriptive manner, it should be describing what has happened till now in this area. Okay, what are still challenges, what are still not done, what is still not done in this area, and what part you are taking up for your research. Okay, so that has to be clearly mentioned in the introduction. Next slide, please. So then after introduction, we have literature review. Okay, so as I mentioned, what literature you follow, that defines the quality of your work. Okay, so make sure that you always use or read standard papers. You can find out the renowned journals from your own domain. So I can speak about IT, computer and electronics, but in food technology, fashion technology, okay, whatever is your whatever are the journals which are renowned, you can find out with your faculties, and try to read papers from those journals. Okay, to make it more and more effective. Okay, so that your work quality will be automatically improved, it will get improvised automatically. All right, so yeah, in literature, I'm so sorry for this. In literature review, what you're going to have uh, is the existing methodology. Okay, existing technology that you have. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So in the literature review, you're going to have the existing methodologies or existing technologies. Those are used in this particular domain. Okay, the problem which has already been solved in this particular domain. Okay, and what are the problems which are still remaining. Okay, what are the current challenges. All right, so literature's review is basically the study of everything that has been happened, okay, that others have already implemented. So it can have methodologies, technologies used. Okay, it can have algorithms which are already been developed. All right, and what you're going to do is, at the end of your literature review, you're going to compare the existing work. Okay, while comparing the existing work, you should be mentioning the limitations and drawbacks of each of the paper that you've studied. Okay, so as far as possible, try to find out the limitations and drawbacks of each and every paper or each and every methodology that you studied, and they have solved the same problem that you are solving. Okay, so literature review has to be exactly the same. Okay, it has to be exactly the same problem that you are solving. It cannot be any general literature review from the domain. Okay, it has to be very specific to the problem. Got it? All right. Please, next slide, please. Okay, so here I felt a need of putting some general instructions for you all. Okay, so as we're talking about the literature survey, mostly you will be using the citations in literature survey, okay, or literature review, because here we are going to mention about the work that has been done by the previous researchers, as I said. Okay, and this is how we are going to cite it. So as you can see on the screen, I have given you a kind of syntax to cite existing work. Okay, so what I mean by existing work? So basically, if there are some definitions to be used, okay, or if there are some formulae to be copied, all right, so all such things I cannot change it, right? So I have to take it from someone else. Okay, those who have already developed those formulae, those who have already developed those definitions, it has to be taken from their research work, right? And to give due respect to that person. Okay, that is the reason we have citations used in our paper. Okay, that is the reason we use citations in our paper, and this is how we do it. We like after mentioning the line from that particular paper or the formula from that particular paper, in a superscript, in a square bracket, I'll be mentioning the number from my reference list. Okay, so the number of the paper from my reference list will be put up as a superscript, right? Okay, so that is all about the citation. All right, then figures, architecture diagrams, component diagrams, or any diagrams that you are supposed to draw. Okay, it has to be drawn by you yourself. Okay, I cannot copy any existing figures from any other paper. Okay, so even if you have few components which are same or exactly similar, right, or exactly, I mean, you're copying it. Okay, still you need to, okay, still in that case you will need some I mean, you need to draw those figures again. All right, it cannot be copied from any other paper, right? Similar thing for rendering experimental results using charts and graphs. You will find few review papers mainly where the graphs or charts which you are interested in making, okay, or publishing, they are already drawn by someone else. All right, so again I would say don't copy it from anywhere. All right, but you will be doing it on your own. Again, you will be studying those papers and you will find out the difference on your own. Fine. And again, if you want to draw any charts or any graphical type of representation for to depicting the differences, please draw everything on your own, right? Finally, conclusion and future work. This has to be there in all types of papers. Okay, so even if it is a review paper, what do you conclude after studying those 4-5 papers together? Okay, that has to come as a final conclusion of your paper, and then what you propose as a future work, okay, or what you suggest, okay, that should come as a future work for that particular paper. In implementation paper, definitely you will have your own conclusion that kind of, I have implemented this system and we found it in these all ways better than the existing system. So that comparison must have been already done through experimental results previously. Okay, in the conclusion part, at the end, I'm just going to once again mention it in again the descriptive manner. All right, all charts and diagrams are already drawn, okay, in the proper sections. Okay, and in future work, so whatever is still left to be done, okay, which was not in scope of my research work, but these all things are still there to be done. Okay, so all those things should be incorporated as a future work. Got it? Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are few journals that I could find for the food technology, because I'm basically from IT and computer science background, so I have no idea about all these journals. But as I searched on Google, I got all these names of the journals. And yeah, and the next thing comes that okay, my paper is ready, everything is done, it has been reviewed by my faculty and approved. Now where do I submit it? Okay, can I have the next slide? Okay, so selection of journals. Okay, that is also a very important thing. So I cannot just put any paper in any journal. Okay, so as you read the name of the journal, you will understand that each journal is from specific area of research. Okay, so even if it is from the same domain, there are, as I was saying there are subdomains in it, and we do find journals pertaining to each of the subdomain as well. Okay, so please find out the proper journal where your paper fits the best. Okay, secondly, I will have to find a journal which has got a very high impact factor. Okay, so what is an impact factor? That tells the quality of the journal. Okay, the quality of papers that those are getting accepted in that journal, those are getting published through that journal. Okay, so again, talking about IT comms, we have journals like Scopus Index journals are there. So Elsevier is a very famous journal. IEEE is a very famous journal. Okay, so all those will have very high impact factor. So generally, impact factor 5 and plus, okay, is generally considered as a good impact factor. And as you go on any journal website, so every journal has got their own website, their own web pages, and there the first thing that they mention is the impact factor. So you can just read that number and understand the quality of the journal. All right, again, there are some yearly journals, some semester journals, some weekly journals, bi-monthly journals, monthly journals. There are so many different types of journals available, categories are available. So here I would say definitely you should take advice from the faculty, from your project guide, to choose the journal. Okay, and the general question what I get in this on this slide is, can I put my paper in multiple journals at a time? So the answer is no. Okay, at a time your paper should only go to one or maximum two journals. I would not recommend for two also. It has to go in one journal only. Okay, if that journal process rejects your paper, then you it will reject, and they will give you some points to revise. Okay, they'll give you some suggestions also, that what all things are missing, why we are rejecting your journal, your paper. Okay, so you should be doing all these improvements, all these modifications, and then you will be putting it in the next journal. Getting it? Okay, so at a time I should not be putting any like my single paper in multiple journals. Okay, that is unprofessional practice. Okay, fine. So all right, next slide please. So that is all about the journal selection. Now we have multiple review processes. So just give you an idea how your paper gets selected. Okay, so it is called as a peer review. Okay, and there are different types of peer review, as you can see on this slide. So it can have single blind review, that is reviewer's identity is hidden in this case. I have double blind review wherein the reviewer and the author, both identities are hidden from each other. Okay, then we do also have open peer review. So generally for open access journals, we have this kind of reviews wherein both the reviewer and author, they can see each other's names. Okay, and there are some direct remarks which are been mailed to the author. Okay, then the transparent peer review, here the review is posted along with the article. Okay, so that will be like public for all. So if I'm reading someone's paper, I also read the review that the paper has got. Okay, so that is called as a transparent peer review. Then we have collaborative, wherein multiple reviewers work together to give review on one paper. And there are few reviews which happen post publications also. Okay, so after my paper is published in the journal, after that, as people read my paper, they might have some suggestions for me. That is called as a post publication review. Okay, so basically the general process which is adopted in most of the journals is single blind, double blind, and open peer review. Okay, so these first three process of review which is generally adopted. Okay, and yeah, so this is how the paper will be selected. Okay, and as I said, the keywords matter a lot. Okay, so first thing is your paper will be categorized. It will be revalidated, that if I am submitting my paper in, say for example, artificial intelligence journal, okay, does my paper actually belong to AI? Okay, so that thing is first evaluated. Keywords will be the important factor there. Okay, so what keywords I'm putting for my paper, what title I've given to my paper, it will all depend on that. All right, and accordingly the paper will be selected or rejected. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so as madam suggested yesterday that along with the paper writing, students are also interested in report writing. Okay, so I understand that you have to write a report. You call it as a black book or white book, something of that sort, right? So that's a report of your project. Okay, so till now what we have discussed is about paper. So when I talk about a paper, the maximum length of the paper which is allowed in most of the journals is 5 to 6 pages. Few journals do allow 8 to 10 pages, but mostly 10 is the highest limit that I have seen till now. Okay, so that makes your the liberty which is given to you, in the while describing the work, is little less, right? But when it comes to report writing, it is like a book. Okay, so I'm publishing a book of my own project for my own research work or development, whatever I've done. Okay, so that is what we call it as a technical report. So there is no limitation, first of all, on the number of pages. Okay, the components that we have seen in technical paper, those will become now chapters of my book. Okay, so definitely title, abstract, introduction will be as it is. Okay, but again, introduction here in case of paper, I have again the limited space with me, so I'll try to keep it very limited, very short. But in when it comes to report writing, it can be elaborated introduction. Okay, similarly, next is your literature review. So in literature review also, in paper we have again got a limitation, but in report writing, the same literature review can be elaborated. Okay, I can literally thoroughly explain what others have done previously. Okay, their methods in detail. I can also draw diagrams, or anything that I have inferred, okay, that I have learned after reading the paper. I can have my own comments written in, again, in the illustrative fashion. Okay, so I have liberty of space here, and I should use it to the fullest, right? um yeah, so as I said, it's a book about your complete research, okay, and complete implementation, right? It may also have the GUI designs, UML diagrams, okay, if you're aware of. So use case diagram or class diagram, right? So all those diagrams can be included, or should be included, I would say, in report writing, but those diagrams will never appear in any of the technical paper. Okay, so yeah, it can also have the letter of appreciations if you got from any institution, or you won some prize somewhere, or you have published some papers. Okay, so those can be treated as a recognitions of your work. Okay, and all these recognitions you can add in your report, okay, in your black book. Okay, again, the reference list in case of technical paper and in case of technical report, there is a difference. Okay, so in case of technical paper, the references should be the exact or the most appropriate references or most appropriate papers that you have got. Okay, only those have to be mentioned in your technical paper. Okay, while in case of report writing, you can have an exhaustive list of reference papers that you have read. See why there is a difference here, because when I'm starting my research work, in the beginning I may not know what exactly the topic I'm looking for. Okay, so I will start reading the papers from that particular area for that particular domain. Okay, and then we will narrow down the topic of research, right? So there are multiple papers that I've read, but now they are irrelevant for my research work, right? So all such papers I will definitely discard, okay, as the time passes. But then those, if they are somewhere related, I can still mention them in my technical report, but such papers should never come in your technical paper, okay, or research paper, right? Research paper should always have all the references of all the papers, those are directly related to your research work, right? So that's all from my side for today. All right. And now the forum is open for question answers. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you, for patience listening. I hope you have got some inputs for your work, and you will be in a better position to write, okay, your technical papers now. Very first thing I would say is, if you have any kind of inhibitions that I cannot write technically, or I don't know how to write, so please leave it. Okay, there is nothing very great or very different about technical writing. You must have written essays till now in the school days, and uh, like many a times you have written stuff. It might be technical, it might not be technical, but after learning for 3 years or 4 years of your courses, okay, I'm sure that you have gained a lot of technical knowledge. Yeah. And you are in a position to write. Okay, so if you have any kind of fear or inhibitions that I cannot write, so just leave that particular thing. It is nothing like that. Okay, you can write and you will write. Okay, so all the best to all of you. And yeah, I'm open for taking up questions now. Please go ahead.
I can see one question in the chat box, madam.
Okay.
Can you please repeat about referencing once again?
Okay, yeah, sure. So referencing is nothing but the citation that I said. Okay, so it is like whatever work, okay, whatever work others have done, if I'm using their work. So what happens is, whenever I'm writing a paper, the very first thing I should be taking care of is plagiarism. Okay, it is called as a plagiarism. So what is a plagiarism? If you copy the sentences from others papers as it is. Okay, if you copy sentences from other papers as it is, then your paper will be caught in plagiarism, and it will be the first point of rejection. Okay, so in most of the cases, the allowed percentage of plagiarism is 5%. Okay, so only 5% of work I can copy from others, and wherever I'm copying, I should mention from where I have copied this. So that is what we call it as a citation. Okay, so in, as I said, in a superscript, okay, I'll be mentioning the reference number. So what happens is, if you must have read so many papers, right? So at the end of the paper, there is a list of other papers. Okay, and in the beginning, in a square bracket, they mention the number of paper. It is just 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, sequence numbers, right? So wherever I'm copying stuff from, say, paper number 5, okay, so in that case, I'll be mentioning the number 5 for that particular sentence or for that particular formula wherever I am copying it in my paper. Got it? And it has to be done in as a superscript. Okay, so just after writing the formula or after writing the sentence, I'll put a superscript. I'll put a square bracket there, and I'll mention the number 5 in the square bracket. This is how we cite. Okay, fine. So I hope I'm clear and I've answered your question. Can we have the next question, ma'am?
Yeah, Gayatri madam is asking, Gayatri madam. Ma'am, will you elaborate paper writing for electronic student as they do major projects in final year and they need to publish paper on the major project? What are the important parameters they should take care while writing paper and while publishing their work?
Okay, so as far as the parameters are concerned, madam, all the papers will have this general format itself, what we have discussed just now. The only thing which will be different, most probably in electronics or EXTC students, is the circuit diagrams. Okay, so mostly if they are developing some circuit diagrams, so instead of system architectures, they will be having some circuit diagrams. Okay, that will be the only difference I can see. Otherwise, all the sections remains the same. Okay, and further to solve your doubt, I would suggest that ask your students to read papers from the domain. Okay, so whichever area they are going to work in, ask them to download and read papers so that they themselves understand what are the different sections, those are there in the paper. So if at all there is any other section, it can be easily getting addressed. Okay, I don't see there are any other different sections, but still, I mean, if you have any doubt, and you can definitely go through the papers. Okay, so every domain basically they have something different than the other, right? So if I talk about food technology or fashion, definitely the way we approach for IT and computer papers, there'll be little difference than they approach. So they will never be having any system architectures to be drawn, right? In food technologies specifically, surely, right? So, but if there is no system architecture, then what is there? Okay, so that I'll understand only when I read through different papers which are existing in that particular domain. Okay, and that's quite easy. I think your institution has the subscription, I believe. So yeah, I think Vaishali ma'am can just give some input in this case.
See, madam, I would like to appreciate you that last year we have conducted a session, same session
Yeah.
for our last year student, and
Yes.
they have taken advantage of your guidance, and we have published one international paper in a
That's
peer-reviewed
great.
journal. So
Very good.
that's why I thought, like, this year also, why not to,
Yes.
give such this lecture so that student will be benefited, and definitely we
Sure.
expect many more papers like this year also.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That last year we had one. This year, let us
Yeah, yeah.
target for
And
minimum
very,
five
yeah,
internationally. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
yes,
I have one question from
yes.
Shivani on Facebook. I think live what we are doing. She has written, "What are the
Mhm.
communities to join for writers? What are the communities are there to join for writers?"
Okay, so Shivani, I believe if you want to do some freelancing writing, then there are some communities available. But here we're talking about publishing your own research work, right? So yeah, for that, I mean, I don't see there is any need of joining any writers community. But if you are interested, you can just Google about it, and there are so many communities available for technical writing also. Okay, so if you want to build your career as a technical writer, yes, there are multiple communities available online also, so you can take advantage of that. Yeah.
We have received one comment in the chat box. Actually, it was very informative and useful. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
We want student to take benefit of this. If you still have question, please put the questions in the chat
Yes, you
box
can.
and be
Yeah, I
displayed.
would appreciate if you ask a particular, I mean, if you are working on a particular domain or particular project, if you ask questions from that domain, how to write paper or how that will be better, because uh, what I have told you is all general, right? So
Yeah.
it might be exactly not fitting for your work. But yes, if you can tell me some specific problems that you are facing, then I would like to
Yeah.
address, I would try to
Maria
address.
has asked a specific question. Ma'am, could you please throw a light and say some points making formal PPTs in ophthalmology technology?
Okay, so ophthalmology technology is again, a domain out of my scope as such as of right now. But definitely, I'll search for you and get back to you on this. I can just mail Vaishali ma'am. So as far as the formal PPTs are concerned, the again I would say exactly the same components that we use in paper. All those sections will be there in the PPT. Okay, but as it's a PowerPoint presentation, right? So I cannot put complete stuff, complete text on the PPT. So only thing is I have to make it as a point wise, right? So I'll be explaining what I've written in the paper mostly, but on the PPT I'll be putting it in a point wise fashion. Okay, that is the only difference. It will be again, explaining your own work. Okay, so yeah.
If Pritam want to ask question, Pritam,
Yes.
yes, Pritam, would you like to ask question? Your
Ma'am,
time
I
to
would like to
question.
ask you what will be the parameters in annotated bibliography if like we have a black book to be written now. So what will include in bibliography exactly?
Okay, bibliography is it's like if you are using any jargons, if you are using any technical terms which are specific to your domain. Okay, and yeah, so in order to explain them, basically we include bibliography. Okay, that comes after references. Okay, and I mean you can just order those words in alphabetical order, ABCD, right? So as we have dictionary. Okay, someone is unmute. Can I'll request?
Participant, please unmute mute yourself.
Please mute yourself. Okay. So bibliography is all about that. If I have some jargons used in my paper, in my book, and I want people to understand as they read, okay, so they can directly refer to the index of bibliography and they can understand the meaning of that particular word. Okay, that is the use of bibliography. It is mentioned after references, as I said, and they are arranged in alphabetical order. So if you see any book, okay, any book, any technical book also, so at the end you find that there are many words which are been given the basically the description, okay, about the word, what does it mean. Okay, that is the bibliography, and it will also have the page number where the word is present in my book. Okay, so that is about the bibliography. You can have it in your black book. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
There is one question, it's my question only. If we have to select a journal, yeah, so as you say,
Hmm.
peer review journal is a very good type of journal, but among that,
Yes.
there are n number of types of journals. So while selecting journal, which type you should go for?
Okay, so madam, first thing what we see is the your impact factor. Okay, so very first thing we see is the impact factor of the journal. Secondly, there are some recommended journals pertaining to different domains. So if I talk about again IT comms, electronics, CXTC, we have UGC journals. So UGC journals are treated as a high level or high standard journals. Similarly, you can find out what are the journals in food and fashion. Okay. Similarly, we have Scopus Index journals. Okay, or we have Google Scholar like journals which are cited in Google Scholars. Okay, so basically what we see is like after publishing my paper, it also should be cited by others. Okay, it should be visible to others, and for that to happen, I need to have the reach of my journal to multiple places. Okay, so it should be available through Google search, it should be available through other search engines, and that is all that information you will find on the journal page itself. So whichever journal you are talking about or you are considering, okay, just Google the name of the journal, you will get the web page of that journal, and all this information will be available readily on the very first page, because that is their advertisement, right? So if I want to sell my journal, if I want many papers to be attracted towards my journal, I'll advertise my journal, right, for that. So all these factors you will find in the very first page and the border itself, that with the along with the name of the journal itself most of the times. So yeah, so from that you can easily make out which is a better journal.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any other question from student? I believe that all their queries are sorted out. If they have any question queries afterward also, so definitely I would
Yeah.
like to pass it on to you, and we will try to satisfy their queries and questions.
Yes, yes, sure,
So,
sure. I'll be more than happy to address,
yeah.
definitely.
If there is no question queries, so I would like to request Bhagyashri. Bhagyashri, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Please proceed.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I, Bhagyashri Hadkar, would like to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of PVP IST student chapter for today's excellent webinar. I would like to thank our guest webinar speaker, Professor Purva Raut ma'am, for enlightening us with her knowledge and inspiring us. It gave deep insights into the world of technical writing. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that ma'am gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. Once again, I would like to thank Purva ma'am for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would
Thank you.
also like
Thank you so much.
yeah, I would also like to thank our principal sir, Dr. Sachin Ladda, our HOD ma'am, and all the teachers for organizing this webinar for us. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students and participants for your attention, patient listening, and learning. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to thank Vaishali ma'am for giving me this opportunity and total PVP team. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, ma'am. So on a single phone call, you are like showed your willingness to conduct this kind of program for our student. So very much thank you.
Yeah, that's my
Our
pleasure.
degree student, degree in BO student, they are having exam right now. Exam is going on. So we will
Okay.
schedule that if they have, after seeing the FB live program from this thing, if they have any questions, so definitely we will get back to you
Sure,
again,
sir.
trouble you again.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, no problem. I'm always ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you, Purva ma'am.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, madam.
Surekha ma'am, can we end the session?
Yes, yes. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.